I hope everybody had a Merry Christmas and I wish everybody a Happy New Year. But the New Year's not turning out that happy, particularly with the so-called bailout. $600 for each person with regard to COVID-19 is an insult. Probably most people will use it to buy a new color TV, I suspect. But that's neither here nor there. But here's the criticism that I've had of President Trump. He's done many good things in the last 4 years. His time is over. It is over. Let's not kid ourselves. We now have to prepare for the next American revolution. And I've suggested peacefully and legally in my book, It Takes a Revolution. Forget the scandal industry, which you can get at Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, and all major booksellers. I have a way that we can try to save this country without resorting to violence, although I think it's headed there in any event. I won't be the one that provokes it, but other people will. And here's why they will. Because you see, we listened to all this nonsense, and I could call it BS, about the Kung flu, about how the Chinese are responsible. But ask yourself this question, and this is why I'm angry, and I'm even angry at President Trump. Why didn't he take action with his executive authority? Why is it that the American people have to pay out of their own pockets for the damage that communist China has inflicted? Why is it that the assets of the Chinese, trillions of dollars in this country, have not been frozen to pay for the damage? Why is it that all we hear is lip service? We even hear that from Tom Cotton, who's somehow become this Republican hero who thinks he's going to be president in 4 years. Well, forget that. First of all, he looks like howdy doody. But number two, that ain't going to happen because people are tired of the BS. People are tired of being played like a fiddle. People are tired of being left behind. They're tired of the government lying to us over and over and over and over again. And that is why I wrote this book. Because why is it that Larry Klayman and Freedom Watch had to bring a class action lawsuit against the Chinese in Dallas, Texas, for all the damage that the communists have caused? Or Jerusalem, Israel. And it's disgraceful, but the Israeli case is moving faster than the American case. Or The Hague, Holland, at the criminal court there, which won't move at all because you've got Europeans there who are scared of their shadow, even more than we are. But this is the problem that we have, is the American people are fed crap over and over and over again. And, it reminds me of the movie Network that I saw when I was in my teenage years, where the guy sticks his neck out a window and says, "I can't take it anymore," or Popeye, "Enough is enough and enough is too much." This is where we are today. And that's why our founding fathers, who experienced the same thing, but even not as bad, in 1776, signed the Declaration of Independence and decided that they were going to abolish the oppressive government and form a new government by and for the people. Well, that's what we need to do. We need to start with measures even before we get there. We need to start with citizens' grand juries to hold the criminals in Washington, D.C. in particular accountable. If they want to commit crimes, let them commit crimes against each other. Let's move the capital out of Washington, D.C. Frankly, it looks like Disney World anyway, most of it. Doesn't look like it's really American. Let's go back to what is American. Independence Hall in Philadelphia, and let's squeeze the leftists out of Philadelphia. Let's nominate a new president. Let's have a Congress. Let's have a real Supreme Court, not a bunch of court jesters and fools that we've currently got that wouldn't even stand up for the same president that nominated them. Three of them, Barrett, Gorsuch, and Kavanaugh. Absolute disgrace. And they've left the American people defenseless with this criminal Biden and his son Hunter and Kamala Harris, who couldn't tell the truth if her life depended on it, who's a radical leftist. And that's where we are today. But ask yourself this question, one basic question. The so-called bailout, the measly $600 that we have to pay for. It's like taking money out of our pocket and putting it back into our pocket. Why aren't the communist Chinese paid? Why not? The Chinese, by the way, are good people. They've been really harmed by their own government over there. And this is a dictatorial communist state. It's something which, frankly, is a threat on the horizon and a threat today. But President Trump, what have you done about it? Zip, nada, nothing. What have the Democrats done about it? Nothing. What have the Republicans in Congress done about it? Nothing. What have the judges done about it? Nothing. Now, this is where we are. And as we go into the new year, let us pray. God is with us if we help ourselves. You can read my column in World Net Daily last week. It's up at freedomwatchusa.org. If it's good enough for Jesus, it's good enough for me. because God is with us if we help ourselves. But now we better help ourselves because we have no government. And what government we have is totally corrupt. God bless you. God bless America. God save America. And we will save America with God's grace, but we have to do it for ourselves. Turn off Fox News. Turn off Newsmax that's run by somebody that gave $1 million to the Clinton Foundation. Turn off MSNBC. Turn off CNN. And let's get to work. That's my message for today. I'll be back tomorrow with another special podcast. Until then, thank you for listening to me.